Good afternoon and welcome. This is KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner. And of course, a very, very busy week from a sporting point of view, both locally and across the borders. Across the borders, Doha was the Diamond League venue, and Kenyans out there did exceptionally well. Not just this, the athletes, but also the Kenyan fraternity in Dubai, turning out in large numbers to support the Kenyan teams. They did exceptionally well. Faith coming up very strong in the 3,000 meters. Steeplechase beating Yavi in a sprint in the final 100 meters. And how, sweet that was for her. Wishing her all the best as she continues with the uprise trend. And not forgetting that Chariot also with a very good sprint in the last 200 meters to clinch the 5,000 meters. A very strong point from a Kenyan point of view out there in athletics. Not forgetting that in the local scene, we witnessed a lot. Gor Mahia sacking their coach. Not just that, Kenya Police seems to be tightening their grip on the Kenyan Premier League. We'll be talking about that later on. Further afield, Manchester United, it was not to be. They came that close, yet it was too far for them, being eliminated in the final. Very interesting indeed. One can argue eliminated in the final. But congratulations to them having reached the final of the Europa Cup, beaten 1-0 by Tottenham Hotspurs, who ended their trophy drought after a very long time. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Amfa Pidi, and of course, as is the norm, we normally start with the score to give us highlights of how events unfolded mid-week, where we've seen a very tough basketball championships in Rwanda with Nairobi City Thunder not getting it any easy, losing their first game to APR Rwanda, then coming very, very close again, MBBS, very close, losing 74 points to 75. Very painful indeed, but we keep an eye on that. We will not start with the score as normally is the norm of the show, but we will start with guests in studio this afternoon to just let us know what makes them tick. Remember last week we had guests in studio who just come from China in the world relays, did duty for Kenya and did exceptionally well. This time round we still have guests who are in China as well to let us know how was it like for them qualifying for the World Championships. Also having a coach in studio to let us know what is the status of sprints in Kenya. My name is Amfa Apidi, and of course, let's start off with the interview segment, not the score this time round, but first to introduce the guests with us in studio. To my immediate right, we have Coach Dennis Ongeri, popularly known as Mwanzo. I'll find out why the name Mwanzo came about, but we'll talk about that as we move on. Coach Dennis Ongeri, sprints coach, also team Venom in Kasarani. Remember, he also led the para team in Morocco, where the team did exceptionally well, finishing second in the world. We will be talking about that later on, but let's welcome Dennis in studio. Mwanzo.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Habari za masiku?
Si mbaya.
Kasarani kwema?
Kasarani kwema. Hata kama iko under renovation. Tunaendelea kumanuva kumali tunaweza trainia.
Asante sana. Karibu studio.
Yeah,
then crossing over to my immediate left, we have Lanolin Aoko, a 400 meters sprinter, also part of Team Kenya that was out in China doing duty for Kenya. She was part of the 4x400 meters team with us in studio. Aoko, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Karibu sana studio.
Asante.
Jisikie nyumbani.
Asante kabisa.
Last but not least, Wiseman Were, 400 meter athlete, 400 meter, 200 meter, 400 meters hurdles athlete, 200 meter athlete, and was also part of the 4x4 400 meters relay team that qualified for the World Championships. He was, reserved for that team, but he still makes the team, to represent Kenya with us this afternoon. Wiseman, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Ushajisikia nyumbani tangu mtoke China?
Yeah, I'm good. Niko nyumbani.
Karibu sana.
Yes.
Let's start by, engaging Coach Dennis Ongeri first and foremost. Coach, we sent a team to China, did exceptionally well. They surprised many, and of course, in China, it was all about sprinting. What's your assessment of general sprints in the country at the moment? Is it improving?
At the moment, Kenya tumeimprove for almost 70%. Tuko mahali na venye timu ilienda China, guys were ready, athletes wakienda China walikuwa ready, na tunashukuru Betika imesaidia sana juu wamekuwa active kwa sprints always, juu wamekuwa wakienda after 1 month wako na competition ya Betika, so Betika wamefanya Kenyan sprints imeimprove sana, na that's why wakati walienda China guys were ready, na hata before waende China vile walikimbia hapa Kenya, hiyo really ilionyesha walikuwa ready. Juu kukimbia Kenya 300 ilionyesha wako ready. Otherwise tunaweza kimbia hiyo 259 tuikimbia, they can run faster than.
They can run faster
yeah,
than
they
that.
can run even 257.
Wow.
Yes.
Very well put there. They can, do better than they've done with 300. They can even go to 259 and, and under with improvement. It means there is still room for improvement, but they are narrowing the gap and getting up there. Lanoline, let's get to you. 4x400 meters. You're a 400-meter athlete. What's your general assessment of athletics, sprinting in general in Kenya? Do you think as an athlete, you are improving, and sooner or later Kenya will not just be known for long and long distances, but also in sprints?
Okay, what I can say, from my experience, sprinting in improve and Kosawa, to me is my first experience. I shift from football to athletics, and it's my first time to run, and I managed to go to Guangzhou in China. I appreciate, and athletics is something good.
Why did you leave football to athletics?
I was shifted by my coach. He
There
told
is
me I
something
can.
the coach saw in you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He told me I can do better in sprinting than this. So I listened to my coach and I changed.
What position were you playing in football?
I was a striker, 7-11.
7 and 11.
Yeah,
and of course, 7 and 11, you are a winger. Speed is critical.
Yeah. And I left there while I was a top scorer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since you moved to athletics, you really feel you're at home?
I'm at home.
You're at home?
I'm at home.
You enjoy sprinting?
Yeah, very.
Your timing 400?
52.9.
52.9.
Yeah.
You think you can do better than that?
I can do better than that.
Wow.
With my coach, I can do better than that.
Wow. Wow. We'll talk about that in a short while. Wiseman.
Yes.
Went to China, part of the 4x400 meters team, still a 400-meter hurdler. You're a 200-meter athlete. Of all these races, which is your most favorite, 200 meters or 400-meter hurdles?
At the moment, I'm getting it better because you see, each and every day we're getting to improve. I just decided to take part in 200, of whereby I saw my speed is coming up in a good progression way. Mm-hmm. So me running at 20.53, it shows a lot because anytime anything can happen, because 20.53 and 20.2 of whereby that's a world qualification time in 200 for those guys who want to run 200 in world championships and in Olympics. But coming back to my normal event, 400 meters hurdles, it's a good build-up for me because I have the speed I need. So it's just about having a right calculation and getting it right, because I believe and I trust in the process, because if you get it right, the times will come down and you might end up getting a personal best and a Kenyan record, even an African record. So for me, it's working both well for me. So it's just a matter of time. While we are doing it, it's just getting it better. Yeah.
Let me ask you before I engage Coach Wiseman.
Yes.
In 4x400 meters, where is the race won? Is it the athlete who starts, who builds up the foundation, or is it the second, the third, or is it the athlete who finishes the race?
Talking about the 4x4 meters, because first of all, you need to have trust within yourself.
Okay.
The person who is going to start the race must be good, because it's the person having the baton. So if the person hand over the baton while number 1, number 2, number 3, it shows you are in the middle position. So the guy who is taking second take cover, because that's where a lot of work is, because that guy needs to run the first curve too fast so that he might cross this 300-meter mark to get himself in lane 1. So that's why you'll get the actual positioning, because you'll get to know from takeover 2. So takeover 3 is just to make it maintain. Then the last guy will decide if he wants you in the podium or out of the podium.
Wiseman, I didn't know that technicality, coach. I didn't know that the second athlete who takes over must be very good, because he or she must go the entire curve before he gets or she gets to the, to the line. Normally there are beacons or, to cut in, and that's when you get to know what position you are in by that point. Coach, how do you determine who runs what leg in 4x400 meters?
First thing you have to consider, who has the speed, because he has to turn very fast to come through the cones, then go direct to line 1. So you must have someone who has a good reaction. Like now, either this one, mostly we use Mwereza because they say, like he is good in 100 meters. He can use that speed to come in very fast. That's why you saw they use the Kwam also, because he's good also in 200. So if you use someone like 800 meters guy, he can't make it because he doesn't have speed. By the time he's coming in, those guys have already gone. So you must use someone who has speed. And also, the 4 guys who are running, those 4 guys who are running that relay, they must trust themselves. Because all of them, if you doubt one of them, and then the relay is dead. So you have to trust.
You have to trust one another.
Yes.
Coach, I was, I normally like watching a particular video of Kenya men's 4x400 meters, Asaba, Nigeria,
Yes.
Where Kenya won gold medal.
Yeah.
And, when I engaged some of the coaches who went with the team, the instruction to the first athlete was, very simple. Just make sure you bring the baton with the rest. Usiache nyuma.
Yes,
Just
yes.
make sure you're with the rest. Then,
Yes.
Kishoyan, got
Yes.
the baton as the second athlete. And
Yes.
Kishoyan now made the race for Kenya.
Yes.
The curve, like Wasman says, was the determinant. And Kenya ended up winning, gold.
Yes, yes.
Very well put there indeed. Let's talk about, the 400 meters flat for you, Lanoline.
Yes.
It's a race that Kenya is slowly coming up in. There is the school of thought that maybe if we had Mary Moraa, as part of the 400 meters team, 4x400, maybe the women would have had more power in terms of making it, but all is still not lost. Do you think that Kenya has enough sprinters from a women point? We've seen their prowess from a middle and long distance. From a sprint point, you're coming up, others are also coming up. Do you think Kenya has what it takes to push and be among the best in the world?
Yes, we have more potential and we can do best. Also, women's, you can see most of the ladies are pushing so hard and we are making good times. I assure even the ladies we went with them at China, we were in good in times. Marcia Okech had 50, Marcia had 51, me 52, Bagari 52, and others 52. Yeah.
It can work.
It can work.
Wiseman, in a 4x400 meters, 4x100 meters, as coach alluded to earlier on, the critical is the baton.
Yes.
The baton change.
Yes.
So is there normally communication between the incoming and the receiving athlete? Do you shout the name, or by default, it's automatic, how it comes out when, you do your practice session?
Yes, of course, because you guys, while we are running, there's that exchange zone. Once the coming guy reaches the certain lane, you are within the range of taking your baton. So the guy needs to shout up. So
everyone is shouting up,
yeah,
or you have your code.
Yeah, it's like Kenya, China, Uganda,
Yes.
US, so you are many. So the moment these guys are coming from the straight of the 100 meters,
Yes.
you will be able to know the positioning. So you face straight to the guy who is coming as you wait for your baton. So if you see the Kenyan coming, like maybe he's on number 6, you come in line number 6. So you arrange yourself according to the
order.
way, yes. So when the guy approaches the finishing line, the exchange zone, you are ready to take the baton, because definitely the guy needs to talk, regardless. So you need to say up.
Do you have a code language? Because everyone is up,
Yeah,
up.
that's the same language.
Mistake your up
It's
and
not,
pick somebody.
you can't mistake, because
You know your voices.
Yes,
you
know your voice. You know your Kenyan kit. It's red.
Yes.
So you are taking the baton from the red guy, because I don't think if we have many reds in the track. So you'll take the baton from the red guy. Yes.
How do you get it right, more so in the 4x100 meters? Because there is that moment they are down, then somebody's up. And you must also be very careful because you are within that zone and you must not be disqualified.
Most likely in 4x1 it's so critical because those guys, they work within smallest, shortest time, because 4x1 is not like 4x4. 4x4 you will wait, see your guy coming.
Correct.
4x1, from the start, set, the gun is off. This guy might run the first curve with 10-2 or maybe 9. So you need to be so alert and punctual because things happen within seconds. It's not like this guy is coming one lap, giving you the baton. So between 4x1, that's where critical part is, because one moment you mess up with that baton, you have messed the whole team.
I sympathize with the Jamaicans.
Yes, so the moment it doesn't get well the way you guys were practicing, you end up losing everything in the race. So most of the time you need to get it right while in training so that you just take it back to the actual competition and you'll get it right. So you need that chemistry within yourself while training so that while you're going to a competition, you get it right. So if you keep on changing, today you put lanolin, tomorrow you put like Coach Dennis, believing like, yes, he has speed, you might end up losing because my speed doesn't match with your speed, because you need to have that judging distance. The moment you see Dennis approaching the fast lane, you need to be in motion so that he might come not to climb on you because he's in fast motion. So you need to take it and take off.
Wow. So it has to be very smooth.
Yeah, very smooth.
Coach, he's brought in a very key point in terms of the exchange. For it to be smooth, you must know how your fellow athlete, the incoming athlete, might be coming with a lot of speed. You must know when to go up and pick the baton. But how do you determine who goes in the 4x100 meters lineup? It was surprising to me, personally, when I saw Ferdinand Omanyala being the second athlete as opposed to being the anchor athlete to bring us home. It was a bit surprising. How is it, worked out to determine who is in what leg, who starts, who finishes, who gets us? Is it based on who has the quickest reaction time from the blocks?
Yeah.
Or is it, a 200-meter athlete who is used to making the curve? What are those things that you look out to decide and determine so-and-so is starting, so-and-so will be in the second, and so-and-so is finishing?
I think I said earlier, 4x1, you must use someone who has a good time in 100 meters and is fast from the blocks. Like now, when they went to China, they used Muereza because I think Mark Otieno wasn't there. Muereza is fast from the blocks and is good in 100 meters. So they knew like if you can just start with 10.5 because the curve is, the curve you can't run that fast because it's the curve. Yes. So since he started with 10.5, so if he gives to Omanyala, Omanyala can split even 8 because he has speed. So he will open the gap. So the curve guy will maintain. He will maintain or open a little bit. And then the last guy, now he'll have a good chance for us to win. Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened in terms of getting us through and qualifying. It was very, 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 very heart, warming to just see how Kenya qualified in style in a race that had the big guns like Jamaica. Coach, let's talk about sprints, and now let's look at sprints in general. Yes. Do you think as a country we have all the equipment, all the resources we need to make sure that the likes of Lanoline, Weissman, and all the other athletes in the country who feel that they can be good sprinters get to the mark that the world can clearly come out and say Kenya is a nation to watch out for in sprints?
At the moment, we don't have facilities. Like now we are struggling. Like now Kasarani is under renovation, no training there. Nyayo Stadium is under renovation. Ulinzi also is died now, is under renovation. So at the moment, athletes are struggling. They are just using dirt tracks. They are using dirt tracks. So even that means if we can get good facilities, that's what I say, like we can run further than what we did in China. That's why I said we can run even further than 38.2. We can go even to 37. Because right now, if you ask them where they're training, they don't know. We just train from anywhere. We don't have good gym. So these guys have talents. If we can get from next year, I hope we are going to get facilities. From next year, if we get facilities, they are going to run faster than that. And we are going to have many Olympians from Kenya right now.
Sprinting.
Yes.
It can be done if we get it right and get the right, things in motion. Landline, what next for you now? What can we expect from you going forward, for the balance of the season?
Okay. Me now, what I'm working towards, I'm waiting for nationals. If I can make it to Tokyo with individual race. Yeah. 400
meters?
Yeah.
Wow. And you're working extra hard to make sure you're there?
Extra hard. And I have to enjoy that pain.
Wow. You have to endure the pain to be there.
Exactly.
More pain, more gain.
More pain, more gain.
More gain.
Yeah.
Wise man, what next for you?
The season is on well. From my previous plans, I started with the Botswana Grand Prix. I had a season best. I went to US in drag relays. I had some good times as well. So coming back, I went to China for the World Relays, according to my plan. So coming back, I'm looking forward to the Absa Kipkeino Classic, which is happening on 31st of this month. Yeah. So from there, I think my first circle of plan, it will be done. And the second plan is looking forward to taking part in Continental Tour Gold and the Diamond League as well, because the season is ongoing well, and we are looking forward to the World Championships, because we have a plan and we are working towards it. Yes.
Okay. Landline, your target in terms of time?
50.
50?
Yeah.
Flat?
50 high.
You can?
Yeah.
If you can get that, you'd be home and dry for your season. Wiseman?
Looking forward from the previous times I've already run, because I have run couples of 48s. I have that potential of making a national record, because it will come down. It's just a matter of time. So looking forward into that. As well, looking forward to the World Championships. That time I can get it here and maintain it. It can get me to the World Championships final. So talking about running 48.5 low to 47, that's a good progression, because it's a step made day in, day out, because I'm doing a technical event. So you have to master it and you have to get it right at the right competition. So it's just, we don't need to rush the season. We need to get it right as time goes by.
And as you go for the same coach, 47, 50, is what they're looking at. As a technical team, how do you ensure that you support them and by the end of the day, see them through to those times?
Mostly, ukiwa na athletes wako, lazima kwanza, you have to learn something from them. Yeah, like, you can't compare this one and this one. So wakati wana train, unaangalia what they need. So kama Wiseman is a 400 meters hurdler, but mostly we use 200 to judge his speed. So na hiyo ni kama ni training yake, like tunafanya 200 kama speed. So mostly tunafanya speed na endurance. So kama Lanolin, she's an upcoming in season yake ya kwanza. I think kwenda China, hiyo ilikuwa ni kama race yake ya ine since. So kama huyu, unajua sasa it's just about progression. We don't want to rush her at this season ya kimbia 50. So our target, if 50 comes, well and good. But our target 50 is just from next year. The target is 50 from next year to qualify for Olympics. That's all. But for this season, later enjoy. If 50 comes, that's an added advantage for us.
I like the way you are, you're giving targets, but you're giving achievable targets. You are not in any hurry. You are setting, standards and looking at if it comes, fine. But it's not a priority at the moment.
Yes.
You want the progression to be smooth.
Yes.
Wiseman, you've mentioned you're running a technical race.
Yes.
Very technical indeed.
Yes.
I personally never, knew that in 400 meters, there are stages in that race when you can up your speed, you can maintain.
Yeah.
There are stages when you lift up your head and you know now it's all systems go.
Yes.
Take us through a 400 meters race.
A 400-meter race.
Yes, even hurdles. When do you now go flat out?
From the blocks, I can't lie, from the blocks of 400 meters hurdles, you need to blast the first 150 meters.
In the
so
curve.
From the curve, you are attacking the first 3 hurdles. But after making the first 3 hurdles, you don't shut down the speed. You need to float at around 75 to 80%. So that speed will take you up to 200. Taking back you to the story I told you about the 200 meters, that's now where 200 meters comes in. If I have a speed of 20.5 in 200 meters, over the hurdles, I don't need to cross with 20.5. So something like 21.2 or 21.3, it's average for me, because I'm on the average zone, floating on the average zone. So coming to the bend of 300, I might be having 33, 34. I'm still okay, I'm in the time bracket. So from the last 120, I still have that energy to pump and push on and come and finish the race, because the first phase I need to come out hard, I need to float. So the last 120 I need to attack, because I don't have any other part of the race. So I need to pour out all my energy so to get it right. So most of the times when I get it right, that's where you'll see a 48 it's coming, because I have executed my race well, the plan is well, and it has worked better for me.
Any preferred lane? There are those who always say that, ukiwa lane 1 umebaki. Is there any preferred lane?
At the moment, I can't talk about the lane, because we have a different rule, which these guys from World Athletics used to draw the lane. My first World Championships, I remember I was given lane 1. And most of my trainings I've been doing in different lanes, but not in lane 1 and lane 9. So the first thing after the start list came out, I called coach, what's the race plan? Because I've never run in lane 1. So from the look of things, I was like, I'm mixed up, because I don't know how I'm going to do about it. And I'm not running only alone. I'm running with the likes of Santos, Rai Benjamin. Because, So I was like, from lane 1, I need to make it the same, because I can't just come here and go home from hits. So I was like, from lane 1, I still had that courage, and I pushed from lane 1, and I made it the semis. Because from lane 1, it means like you can run, but under pressure.
Under pressure.
Yeah. So from lane 1, I got a smooth run, and I made the semis. So from the semis, again, the start list is out. I saw myself, the start list of semis, I'm in lane number 9. So from lane number 9, I was like, from lane 1 to lane 9. So you see, your head is mixed up already. Lane 1, lane 9. So you learn through different experience while doing these races. So from lane 9, I executed my race in a different way from lane 1, because you can't run the same way you ran in lane 1. So from lane 9, you need to go, because these guys are coming. From the moment these guys will get to you, let them go. But the same way, the plan I've been telling you, from the 300, these guys are not moving, because they have run the first 300 meters.
Correct.
So when I saw those guys are like, they're climbing up on the last 80 meters, then I'm coming back again on the race.
Wow.
So if you're having a good plan and a good execution, you'll get the race right.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't know that it can be that technical, but at least now we know. Lanoline, you're preferred? Lane 9, everyone is chasing after you. Lane 1, you're under pressure, you're chasing them and things are not working.
No, I prefer the lane 1.
You prefer lane 1?
Yeah.
Wow. Because it gives you the motivation to keep going, because you can see them.
Yeah.
Wow. Coach, let's start winding up this before I hear from the athletes their final, say. What can you promise Kenyans from a sprint point of view?
What we can, what I can say, let's not promise them, but what I know, something good is cooking, something good is coming, and in the next few years, we'll be top of the world. We'll be competing with Americans. You saw this is our first time beating America in 4x4, and that was by the as a Kenyan, I was very happy to see Kenyan beating America. Even I think I had I chatted with one of the guys, and they told me, coach, trust me, one of those guys, either Jamaica or South Africa, they will finish behind me. And I thank God Jamaica finished behind us, even if they didn't manage to take the baton. Anyway, right now, Kenyan sprints, our target is to make Kenyan sprinters to run fast times, and then many of them to qualify for World Championship and Olympics. That's all I can say. And just focus and be patient. That's all we can say.
Focus, be patient. Landline, your final word?
What I can say to all sprinters, tujitie tu nguvu, tusikize advice. Kitu kocha anakuambia fanya, and tutaenda far. Only that.
Tutaenda far. But
Right.
we still need you in football as well.
No.
Not at the moment.
No.
Wise man,
Yes.
mpira hapana.
No.
She's made up her mind. It's sprint, it's sprint.
Yes.
Your final word? Absa, are we seeing you?
Yeah, you are seeing me,
Landline, are we
Absa.
seeing you in Absa? Coach will decide.
Okay.
Wise man?
Yeah, my words to all Kenyan sprinters, I can tell them it's just a matter of time. There's a change, and we should accept change. Second thing is the right support, because we all need that right support. We can't lie that there is that right support at the moment, because guys really need that, because from World Championships you will see a good number of sprinters, more than 20 guys running in the World Championships. And as well, between that, this challenge I want to just put across to the guys doing the track and field, because we believe we have that potential we have. Even you will be happy to see a Kenyan guy doing javelin, pole vault in the Olympics in LA 2028. You need to see a long jump, because let's just not focus on the sprints only. We have track and field. We have these guys doing the short put, because we need to see them in LA 2028. We have these guys doing the high jump. So we need to support not only sprinters, but different fields within track and field, because we believe we have whatever it takes, we have the potential. And getting it right, I believe we'll send a good number of Kenyan athletes to the World Championships, even the coming Commonwealth Games next year, and it will give us a good build up to the Olympics. And more so, for those guys who are watching and looking forward into the Absa Kipkeino Classic, we trust the process, and as well, we build day in, day out, brick by brick, and it has been a matter of time. So looking forward into the Absa Kipkeino Classic, I believe we get better day in, day out. So we are looking forward for something good, and we're gonna make it happen.
We will make it happen. Words of Wise Manwere. Come out in large numbers. It's happening on the 31st of this month. That's Absa Kipkeino Classic. Thank you very much, Coach Dennis Ongeri. Mwanzo, I'll get to know why you're called Mwanzo. Lanoline, thank you very much. Hoping that one day you can get back to football. Wise Manwere, wishing you all the best as you push for your 47. Thank you very much for making time to be with us.